Okay, we are back once again. I'm gonna try to talk a little louder than I did the first time around, but hey, it is what it is, I guess. But yes, it is here for doubles this time. Officially started off the season strong. Had a pretty tough opponent, but we snuck out the 2-1 victory. So fantastic start to the season. I'm feeling pretty good about it so far. Pull up the matchup real quick. Um, so as you can see, there's some pretty strong advantages, in my opinion. I'm super fast, and I generally have better speed control, without a great tailwind from him, which kind of forces him to bring Legendary, um, which I mean is not the greatest Pokemon of all time, um, but yeah, I have probably a more reliable, not more reliable, but I have a better Tailwind Mon, and I also just naturally have the speed advantage pretty easily. To remedy this, he did try to bring Gouging Fire with the speed boost, but unfortunately, Showdown kind of fucked over that plan. So yeah, that would have been pretty good, especially because Gouging Fire is just very good offensively into my team. Absolutely dog walks my fairy type, obviously, so I kind of just have to like hit it really hard and then just go from there. I have like Palafin who can take a hit. I could have brought Girder, but I'm probably also only bringing that in that Palafin slot, so like they kind of just do the same thing. Yeah, so not great options for living a hit, just in general. Like ones like that are not a great matchup for this team because I can't like switch around it. This is not a team that switches around it very well at all. Obviously, you still go for it, but I mean, like, you have to like play it on a bit of a knife's edge. Rely on things like Volcarona, things like Palafin, maybe like things like Tinkaton. Tinkaton is a great defensive pivot, especially because it's going to be holding AV a lot on this team. But obviously, against this Gouging Fire in particular, you know, it's not great. So, but yeah, the offensive matchup very solid. I have huge speed. Gengar looks amazing, just for the most part. Bisharp is obviously going to be pretty sad for spamming poison type moves, but I figured it's not going to lead it. And I also have a faster fake out user, so if I lead Tinkaton Gengar, I can just come out of the gate swinging, and there we go. I can just come out of the gate swinging, and just click fake out. I have fake out pressure. I have Sludge Wave pressure. I kind of even thought about ripping Terra Poison straight away, but it didn't really make a big difference in any of the calcs, especially game one when I brought it. So that was kind of my lead plan here. Tinkaton is a beast. It is absolutely 1v9. This mon went stupid today. I won't even lie. Yeah, we did it at Brick Break in case I have it next to Gengar. It's able to threaten that Bisharp. Obviously, it's a little vulnerable to Sucker Punch, but just EV to outspeed max speed Keldeo. So this is at the same speed point. I have Cloak over it, even though a lot of weeks it really like to hold the Sash. Just because I really needed to be split into Rillaboom. I thought I could potentially bring out Palafin later on. If I could kind of dissuade that Rillaboom, and it's actually not very good into most things in my team. It loses to Volk, and it loses to Shaman, and it loses to Gengar, and it loses to Tinkaton. And it also gets out pressured in the fake out war, so it wasn't great. This also, I also really wanted it on Urshifu, this Focus Sash. There's a lot of things on this team that could potentially fight for the Focus Sash between Gengar and Urshifu and Shaman Sky, so that is definitely a point of contention with this team. Not great, but I do think there are usually some items I can move around. Stuff like Cloak, stuff like, you know, damaging items or this berry. I can make it work for the most part. You know, like Choice Scarf on Urshifu is also going to be something that is very viable. Terra types, I thought Dragon looked pretty good in a lot of matchups, but obviously I kind of overlooked that Gouging Fire factor, right? Like it's there's no ice type, no fairy type, so I slapped Terra Dragon on a lot of mons. It also did allow me to hit that Gouging Fire, because I thought Volcarona could be a pretty good win condition, especially if I can get chip on things, and I could beat most of his power lies in his strong special attackers, right? So if I can get a Quiver Dance up and actually threaten his big strong dragon guy with Terra Blast, that's going to be the only like real threat if I'm able to position it well. Unfortunately, it didn't work quite as well in reality. I only brought it to game 1, I think. I might have brought it to game 2. But yeah, I think it was more of a positioning thing. It's hard to play for win conditions like that on this team is kind of what I'm finding out again, because I just don't really have defensive options to like maneuver around and get Volcarona in the right spot. So it's definitely possible, but it's going to be harder than I thought with things like that, especially with the team compared to the team I had last season, where I had a lot of maneuverability, a lot of defensive prowess, and like options for things like that, like setting things up. So that's just going to be another thing to get used to. Palafin, again, is also a point of contention with that style of gameplay. I really like Palafin. He's cool. But, unfortunately, I don't know if he'll be sticking around forever because it's just hard to enable him, to be quite honest with you. I mean, this team is good into grass types. But, like, my electric type matchup is not great. Not that there's, like, an insane amount of those running around. But like, yeah, it just doesn't have like the defensive prowess to be able to like come in with a Palafin and then switch out and then like go back in again. It has like Volcarona and Tinkaton, and that's it. And if there's something that can beat both of those mons in like a defensive switch, which is a lot, then it's like, okay, Palafin's kind of a liability. It's hard to make it work. That being said, I did think it looked pretty decent here if I was able to bully out that Rillaboom. Especially since I can run Zen Headbutt to try and clean up that Keldeo, which is his other main water resist. Obviously, Petron is not a fantastic matchup for it, but I did have like that Urshifu to try and bully that out. I had Rindoberry on there just in case. Like, obviously the goal is to try and not have to proc that. I was never going to Terra Poison this either. That just realistically was not going to happen, but again, it was just maybe something to try and dissuade that Rillaboom. In the team preview, he looks at it like, oh, maybe it's just like not not good enough. Especially because I wasn't bringing Palafin in games 1 and 2, and then game 2 I saw he dropped Rillaboom. Like, okay, if there's a time for Palafin, it's right here. Urshifu, just Terra Dark, fries him back. Especially if I have Focus Sash on it, like I might as well just commit to doing damage. Also, since he doesn't have a Fairy type, he's like, I mean, he pressed Terra Fairy on Gouge, maybe all 3 games. I actually don't remember. But so that was kind of an issue. It's still gonna do a lot, especially with that Terra Dark. And yeah, that's about it. Tinkaton is such a beast, though. Tinkaton is so good. I was actually super fucking impressed with this mon. What the fuck is happening in the call, man? Whatever. We press on, man. Let me... Yeah, so again with this lead, the goal is to just, like, come out swinging. I really need to... I fake out the Mew slot here, because I really need to protect my Gengar. And if that means... Yeah, I really wanted to protect my Gengar, and if he fucking plays defensively like this, it gets turbo punished by fake out into here. There is a non-zero chance that this thing just swings on one of my guys. And that's like a big issue, but the fake out threat is super real, and this is like the most important mon in this matchup. It gets way harder for him once Gouging Fire goes down. So there's like a very real chance he plays defensively here. So I just go for this play. If he protected on Mew also, if he had that, which I'm not sure he did, because I think he would probably go for it. Actually, I don't know if he has protect on here. But this kind of just gives me the leeway to come in here. I switch in Volcarona to reset fake out pressure, especially because I know this Gengar is not long for this world. And now I'm in a super good offensive spot because I can switch in on here, get the fake out pressure, and my Volcarona lives to see another day. Again, this is a super big threat, so I know if my Shaman is taking out this Gouging Fire, the Keldeo is not really going to be able to touch the Shaman slot. So I can just make this defensive play, reset, get my fake out pressure, and even though he has Rillaboom, I'm able to fake out that slot. And we just trade that, but I'm Covert Cloak, and they don't know that yet because it's game 1. So I'm able to get super far ahead just off that alone, and the game pretty much ends on the spot. It'll just focus down that guy, and the game ends. So that's game 1. Pretty simple. Come out with a lot of aggression, but I wanted to change things up because I thought it's a little harder to just come out of the gate doing that when you know when you know what's coming. So I think I change up the leads this game, and they try to get speed control in response, which is a fair guess. Oh, also, I for sure should not have been Terra Steel on this. Terra Steel is so terrible. I was for sure like disrespecting Gouge with these Terra types, even though I think Dragon is mostly fine. Terra Steel is like objectively like, what are we doing here? This shit is terrible. It's for sure not Terra Steel. That is all I know. That shit is getting obliterated by Gouge 10 out of 10 times, and there's literally nothing I can do about it. Like here, I just set up Tailwind and it fucking dies. So I do currently have the speed advantage. The Gale Wind is gone. He turns into a fairy here, which kind of sucks. Breaking Swipe is like actually pretty good, but I can just keep on pushing. Hashtag keep pounding. Fortunately, I should have. I don't know why I didn't just Wicked Blow here. Well, I know why. It's because this thing's faster than me. So I stall out a turn, and I just go for damage on this thing with Tank. But now I'm still in like a super bad spot because Tailwind is not up for me yet. So it's like, okay. It's not good. This guy lives just fucking barely lived it by the skin of its teeth, and now that didn't kill. The game's kind of cooked because he just goes for my Volk and then gets fat damage off on my Tank. Yeah, just kills in one shot with attack booster. I also, hold on. One thing I didn't know, I wasn't sure how much damage Sucker Punch would do. Because if he has a fair amount of bulk investment, this actually might not kill. But I think the play is probably to just go for it instead of switching out Volk. Yeah, if I just go for this here. I was also kind of banking on the fact that that would kill. I don't know. I could also go for that play the turn I protect, like right here. It depends. I don't know. Or, wait, no, I can't do that. Yeah. But right here, I think I should just go for, like, just hope he's not very Volk invested, which to be fair, he's probably not. Because if you look at the speed tiers, he probably wants to be faster than Volk at the very least. So hitting that 100 benchmark is very important. And we know from a calc in game 1 I did that he's like not a boosting item, or like he's not like specs or anything, but he does have a good amount of investment. So from that I probably should have just surmised that there's not a lot of bulk on this thing and like go for it. Even then I think it's like, oh wait, no, because I'm -1. Oh, I forgot I'm -1. So maybe it just never kills. It actually just might not never kill. But yeah. Terra Fairy Gouge is a big fucking problem. If that thing started healing, I would like eat the thing. Holy fuck. Just stays with the same lead, but this time I start with my Palafin. Now, if I was really a beast, I would know that they're going to double protect here. And I would just like fucking... Oh, no. What you do is you switch something in on your Tinkaton, and then I fucking flip turn out on my own thing and bring Tinkaton back out. But unfortunately, I'm not. I was like, maybe he doesn't have it on Fletchender, because I don't think it was revealed. No, the only revealed Tailwind. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just go for this. And if he doesn't have Protect, it pays off big time. But I mean, chances are it probably has Protect. Like, it doesn't need that many slots. It needs Tailwind, and it needs like one attacking move. Then it's like, Bob's your fucking uncle. You can have Protect, you can have Will-O-Wisp. Like, it really doesn't matter all too much. So realistically, I should have known this thing has Protect. At which point, if I make that play, like I switch out to like Shaman and side flip turn, then I have Shaman and fake out pressure again. It's still not a great position in front of Gouge, so maybe that isn't correct. But yeah, I just have to fucking sack in front of this Gouge. It's actually, this thing is such a problem. But here I can, yeah. Here, this thing's under a good amount of pressure from like a double. So it goes for the Burning Bulwark, but I do not fall for it. I just press Tailwind, Zen Headbutt, which fortunately goes wide left. I actually don't know if this kills. I didn't calc it. Would have been very nice to have a fat chunk on this thing, though. Goes for coaching again, so this thing's going to be absolutely obliterating anything it touches, but Martian Death Beam pointed at the earth, bro. I know what my out is. All right, I know what I have to do here. I know who I'm calling on to take that fucking shot. It's Shaman Sky with the fucking flinch of a lifetime, and then suddenly we're back and better than ever. Yeah, and then here I just Earth Power because I don't want this thing burned, and I know I can just go for a Zen Headbutt into the slot. Oh, does this kill? It does. Okay. So it didn't change like that much. Getting a second coaching off was like chill. Yeah, the flinch was like the really big thing. Stalls out Tailwind here. Here I probably should have protected this thing from Fletchender. Just gets absolutely fucking obliterated. Goodbye, Shaman. I know I can win as long as this thing goes down though. Right now I flip turn out. And then I bring out the fin again. Okay. Yeah, this thing just jives the Jet Punch. Okay. Okay. Well, they couldn't kill both of them at the same time, so that was the good news for me. Could have suckered also, but then it starts to get a little weird if my attack doesn't go through. And I still had Sash. Anyway, Palfin's a beast or something. I don't know. I had fun. I like the team. Palfin's still a big question mark. But overall, I think this team is pretty lit. Tinkaton is the greatest mon of all time. And Tinkaton Gengar is a pretty lit lead. That's my takeaway here. Yeah, I mean, some redirection could have been nice to try and relieve this gouge pressure, but obviously I didn't have that set. So, you know, it is what it is. I think I could have maybe tried to position this with some late game fake out support, and Volcarona could have gone off, but live and learn. You know, it's week 1. Terra Steel was fucking terrible, and I don't know what I was doing when I was setting that type up, but, you know, it is what it is. It truly is what it is. But, yeah, successful week 1 in the book. Beast mode. Yay.